FlossTube. This is Autumn, the Yellow Rose Stitcher. Today's Wednesday, June 4th, 2025. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by for a visit. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks for coming back. I say it's been a minute since I have recorded a video. As to say, I think the last one was at the end of March. So I say life has been very busy. And as to say, I decided today I'm going to have to squeeze this in. If I didn't get this recorded today, it probably wouldn't happen till July because my parents are flying in tonight and will be here for a month. And a nephew of mine is getting married in July and early July. So family coming in. So my parents come in tonight. My husband's sister comes in this weekend for a visit. So it's hectic. I say we had windows put in mid-May, and that was hectic, trying to move all the furniture. We were told by the instructions were to have everything 4 feet away from the windows. And I was like, I say we got a lot of stuff. So getting the whole house ready for windows and then cleaning up afterwards. It was I don't know why, but it was a dustier endeavor than I realized it would be. So cleaning up afterwards, and say I did some physical therapy on my arms in April. And so anyway, that's a synopsis, Reader's Digest version of the last couple of months. It's been hectic, but I have managed to do a little bit of stitching. So come on here and hopefully I can make this somewhat short and sweet and give an update, and hopefully see you again in July for another video. Let's see, let's start with finishes. I say if you're new here, and I say started a stitch along in January where my goal was to stitch all of the Quaker pillows from Primrose Cottage Stitches. So I've been moving along with that, and put the hashtag up here. Feel free to jump in anytime. I say I've got a couple of ladies that have been stitching along with me. I think they've done all of the ones that I've done so far this month. Jody, Marie, and Cindy. It's been fun to see your stitches and your changes. And I say a couple others have done 1 or 2. Wendy at Wendy's Whimsical Stitches has done, I think, 2. But anyway, my goal is, so currently there's 12. They've come up with a couple of new ones this year, and I was able to get those done. Well, one done, one's coming. I'll show that to you. But let me see, where's my note card? Oh, I forgot to pull it out. Sorry. Like I said, let's see. Summer Quakers, April. Honeybee Quaker in May. And I finished the Summer Quaker. This is what the pattern is on the bright yellow. And I had bought their finishing kit and thread kit, which comes with the finishing fabric and the Dinky Dyes silk and rickrack. I did change the fabric though. They just had it called for white Lugana, and I stitched mine. Oh, I forgot. It is, let's see. Can't find the card. It's an Atomic Ranch fabric. Where did I stick the card? Oh, it's right there. Duh. Wild Mint from Atomic Ranch. So this was my finish, and really, really happy with. It's getting washed out here on the video, but it looks really, really pretty in real life. Well, let's say that's kidding. But I'm really, really happy with it. And this is 28, is it 28 count or 32? Yeah, 28 count, so same count. So I haven't gotten it made into a pillow yet. I did decide though I'm not going to use this plaid. I went digging in my stash and found this. And I think I'm going to put that on the back of it because I liked the green matches pretty well. I don't know, that seemed pretty and summery. And I'll use the yellow rickrack. So that's one more Quaker. And then I was supposed to have stitched and finished the Honeybee Quaker in May. But like I said, things have been hectic. There's the Honeybee. And I'm using, it's just DMC. So I'm using the called for DMC and a piece of 28 count Lugana. This was a leftover piece from the St. Patrick's Day Quaker. That was it. So I'm not quite done. I came down here. There was another piece here, a star like that under here that I had in place, but when I came across with the zigzag, I realized it was in the wrong place because I had used this to count off the beehive. So that is off, so this is off, so I've got to take all this out and redo it. But I took out the star so I could finish the zigzag. So, like I said, things have gotten in the way of me being able to get as much stitching time in as I'd like, but it's going to be really cute. And I love the colors. It was interesting. I was thinking this would really go well if in my bedroom because I've got my walls are like this kind of teal color, and then I've got a dark gold on an accent wall. So, but that is the two Quakers that I stitched April and May, and then I've got the Patriotic Quaker ready to go. This will be the June stitch as soon as I can finish up the Honeybee, and they called for 32 count light taupe, and the threads were color and cotton, cherry cobbler, old lace, and stargazing. But I just went and so this is another piece of scrap that I pulled out of my stash. It's just 28 count raw natural. I'm going to stitch it on there with, I didn't order color and cotton. I've got Classic Color Works red ribbon, Weeks Dye Works navy, and Weeks Dye Works grits is the colors that I have put together. I think I like the brighter colors. So hopefully I can get Honeybee done here next week with family coming in. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to get it done, but the plan is to get it done by the end of June and get back on track with getting these one stitched a month. And get back on track and wrong bag. Get things where they ought to be. Let's see. So, and if you're curious about which Quakers I'm going to be stitching when, I usually put that list in the description box, so I'll add that down there. And so if you want to stitch along or just stitch one of them and post it on Instagram. I try to post on my progress on Instagram. I'm the Yellow Rose Stitcher there. So get those out of the way. My other stitching, which I didn't really get hardly anything on. The first one is I'm making a Christmas stocking for my son-in-law. Well, It's more for my daughter. Emmeline is the one that wants him to have it. I think he could care less, but she picked out Nutty or Nice from Satsuma Street. And let's say my intention was to stitch on this on Sundays, but I haven't gotten a lot of it done. And it is stitched on 28 count Phoenix by Picture This Plus. The pattern called for 14 count Ada, but I switched it to 28 count. And this is my progress, which if you saw my last videos, not a ton. I was able to finish in all the fill-in on this tower and came in, finished. This one was partial and finished it, and then started the next row, and then there's a thing on the top of here with like a peppermint on the top, if you see there. So I've got, it's hard to see in this light, I got it started. So, but this is such a fun stitch. I love the bright colors. So, oh yeah, and I got a little bit of stitching done down here. So, hopefully, we'll see if I can get more stitching in, starting, and see how far I can get before Christmas comes along. The other stitch that I really haven't touched since April, I don't think. This was a stitch that my goal was to work on it on every Saturday. It was Quaker Virtues from ByGone Stitches, which is a behemoth big piece. And I'm using, let's see, one called for and one substitution. Called for is Crescent Colors, which is now Classic Colorworks Old Blue Jeans. So that's the main color. And then I substituted Wisconsin Woods for Red Currant. It's kind of a browny red. So that's, and I did manage to finish page 2, of the pattern. Well, I'm calling it a page finish. Let's see if I can hold this up. So this, see if I can, this is hard to do. The edge of this top is the end of page 2. So I did some stitching into page 3, as you can see, to finish motifs, and then got in the word community all the way across. Now technically, what's that? Technically it's not a complete page 2 finish because there's the top of motifs underneath community, but I wanted to wait until I could roll this up and do the motif all at once. I don't want to stitch part of it and then leave the rest of it to the next. But it's coming along. I think it'll just keep plugging away. I was going to say, if you've not seen that one before, there's some really pretty finishes on Instagram. I think it's, if you're in quilting, you might know Yard Girl. I think her name is Susan Aki on Instagram. She stitched this I'll keep showing the chart, years ago in like pinks and corals. Oh, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous. It's going to give you the stitch count. It's 400 wide by 320 high. So, but yeah, I haven't touched that since April. We'll see if I can get back to it. So that's all of the stitching. Like I said, I haven't done a whole heck of a lot. I've piddled it doing a little bit of knitting. I started a burp cloth. Let's say it's not really worth showing. Decided I wanted to try to do some more charity knitting. So it's just there when mindless. Don't have to think about something to pick up and start to work on. So yeah, that's all the finishes, works in progress. The new start will be the Patriotic Quaker. So that just leaves acquisitions, which is embarrassing, as I say. I do good for a little bit. I debated whether even to show all of this, but I think in my last video, if you saw my local needlework store, let's just say, apparently I spoke too soon in my last video. The Stitch Niche is my local shop in Arlington, Texas. And the ladies that own it were wanting to retire and had put up earlier in the year looking for a buyer. Had a buyer. The lady went to market with them, and I went in, I don't know, after their market day and met the prospective new owner, had a lovely chat with her, and shared that with you on my March video. And then, I don't know, after I posted my video, so a week or so later, they posted that the sale had fallen through. It wasn't going to happen. And I guess then they waited a couple of weeks. It didn't seem like very long. And then they put out a post on Facebook that they were closing. So, very disappointed, as to say, this will be new, not having a local needlework shop. As to say, they were in business 57 years. And so I've been shopping there a very long time. Gonna miss the ladies, gonna miss the shop for sure, and really disappointed because there's no other needlework store or cross-stitch shops in all of Dallas-Fort Worth, which is amazing considering what a large area we are. There's 2 needlepoint stores, one in Fort Worth and one in Dallas, but there's no just cross-stitch shop. So, yeah, very disappointed that that's going to be gone. So when they had their retirement, going out of business sale, I went in and bought a ridiculous amount of stuff. I came home and started to put stuff away and some other stuff, and I was like, this is ridiculous that I bought all this, because I'm never going to live long enough to stitch it all. But so if you're just here for the cross stitching and not interested in acquisitions, you can check out now. This, I'll go through what I got. I got a needle minder. It says it's made out of agate. It's really pretty. So I picked that up. Like I said, everything was marked down. I got a couple of pieces of fabric. This is Nutmeg from Atomic Ranch, which is gorgeous brown. Thought it was really, really pretty. And didn't think about it. Didn't necessarily have a piece in mind when I bought these 2 pieces of fabric, but then I came home and I still hadn't put away the stuff I'd bought from market. And I was doing that, and I thought, this I think could look really, really pretty on this brown. I know it says it was stitched on black, but I think those colors are light enough. There's a dark brown, but everywhere I've seen the dark brown, it's surrounded by a lighter color. So I'm thinking I might stitch that on this Nutmeg. So I got the fabric I already had. And then, I didn't pull that one. Oh well. This, another piece, is Sweet Pea from Fabrics by Stephanie. And it is like a really bright lime green kind of. It's looking more yellow on the screen. It's more green than that. And I have a pattern, I think it's Erica Michaels. I forgot to pull it. It's like 5 different drums, and they're made to look like jack-o'-lanterns. And some anyway, I thought one of those would look cute on here. But then I got home and was putting stuff away from market, and I bought this at market. Let's see, Springtime Florals from Robin Pickens. So I thought this the called for is, where'd it go? 28 count kiwi from Fiber on a Whim, which I think is paler, but I thought that might work. So anyway, got those 2 pieces of fabric, and then I picked up some of the stuff from Market that I didn't get before. Pull those pieces out. I think it's just these 4. Nope, that one. And yeah. So these were things that came out at the last Needlework Market in March that I didn't get. So I went ahead and picked up Hope from Shakespeare's Peddler on their clearance. Thought that was pretty. It says, Hope, the balm of human life soothes every misfortune. I'm not crazy about the saying, but I love everything else about it. So that, and then Summer Sampler Fragment from Shakespeare's Peddler. And the Strawberry Patch from October House. Say, I want to do, need some more summer non-patriotic. I thought that would look good as a summer piece to put out on display. And then I got Summer Trio from With Thy Needle and Thread. So, and then the last thing that was a Market release that I didn't get then is Mary Colby Ackworth School 1803 from Cross Stitch Antiques. Oh, I love Quakers. I love the colors in this one. So pick that up. And then the others were just stuff, older patterns, and that I hadn't gotten before. Hands-on Design, the Winter Basket. So I have the fall and summer one. So the only one I don't have now is spring. And then also Hands-on Design, Belle of the Ball, Christmas ornament. I love her stuff. And then this series is a series that I've looked at for years and have never gotten them. And they were all in a basket together. And I thought, ooh, I'm just going to get all those. So the Lila's Studio, winter, spring, summer, and autumn. So say why I had never bought those before, I don't know, but glad I have those. And then Homespun Elegance. This is a series of hers. I think I have the Thanksgiving one. This one's Delivering Summer. They're really cute. And then Delivering Spring. But there's very cute. And a Quaker, more Quakers. I love Quakers. The Work Basket, the Quaker Cardinal, and the Quaker Eagle. I've looked at these several times when I've been in the Stitch Niche and never picked them up. And then there's the Quaker Robins from the Work Basket. So I picked those up. Yeah. And another Quaker. This one I don't remember ever seeing before. A sampler for my mother. Oritim. I don't know how to say that. Is it Ori? Anyway. Another Quaker. Love Quakers. And then I picked this from PrimroseQuakerSAL of Copenhagen. This is another one I've looked at before and never bought. Let's see, what's the name of the pattern? Museum Cell Sampler 1826. Gorgeous. Oh. And it just calls for DMC. It doesn't even give you a color. But it's another big piece. What's the stitch count? 333 by 282. Yeah, like I need another big one. But Kim, when I was checking out, she's like, if you stitch this, you need to stitch it in silk. Which I would agree. I'd love to stitch this in black silk. So, and then ink circles. This one I don't remember ever seeing before, and I don't know. It says 2024, so I guess it came out last year at Market. Delicate Garden. It's hard to see, but I like this version. Thought that was pretty, and I don't remember seeing it before. And then lastly, Jen Hicks Creates had done an exclusive design for the Stitch Niche just see, what year is this? 2023, when the Stitch Knits celebrated their 55 years. And they had it kitted up, and I had never bought it, but it's a berry. So it comes, this has the fabric with it. So anyway, I picked up, there were a few of those. So that's everything I got from the Stitch Niches going out of business sale. Oops, sorry, bumped the table. And then other purchases that I made. I can't remember if I showed this in my last video. I can't remember if I had it. Strawberry quilt from Primrose. That was another cute piece that would be a summer display. And then Primrose Cottage came out with, thanks to Cindy for giving me a heads up on Instagram, because I had not watched Primrose Cottage's live stream, and they came out with a couple, 3 patterns, all stitching related. I had to buy all of them. So they have a new Quaker, the Stitching Quaker. Oh my gosh, and I'm sure you've seen this already out and about, because I've already seen people that have finished it, but absolutely love it. I thought about switching this for the Honeybee Quaker and stitching this instead, and putting the Honeybee in August, which was my only open month that I didn't have one to do. But I decided to wait, and I'll stitch this in August. Oh, love it. Absolutely love it. And with that, they have the stitching quilt, a companion piece. So I got that. And then stitching rules, which, oh my gosh. So if you haven't seen it, it says stitching rules: count twice, stitch once, enjoy each stitch, always cross your X's, no frogging allowed, there are never too many whips, just keep stitching. And I loved the way they had their book arranged. It's arranged to where each little section that you could make into a pillow is on its own page. So you could do it individually, or then it's got the grayed areas where it connects to the next section. So you could stitch it all as one long piece if you'd like. And so when I bought these, I bought, it's all called for color and cotton thread. So I bought the thread pack. And they said it's not enough thread to do all 3, so I'll probably have to get replacements. And then I bought it's all stitched on 28 count light ash gray Zweigart Lugana. So I picked up a half yard of that. So when I'm going to do this, I don't know. Well, let's see. There's too many things to stitch. Too many things I want to stitch. It's just not fair. Knitting and quilting, too many things I want to make. So that was all the ridiculous amount of shopping that I've done since my last video. So I need to, that'll be that. Needs to be no more for the rest of my life, more than likely. One other quick thing, I don't normally share non-sewing related stuff, but I think I follow a guy on Instagram that's in England. The English Pilgrim, I think, is his Instagram handle, and he's also he goes around and shows pictures and tells the history of all of these old churches around the UK. He also owns his own bookstore. Anyway, I found that he published his own book, and I'd seen it, but I hadn't ordered it. Then I found a seller here in the States selling the book on Amazon, so I ordered it, and it's The Forgotten Churches. And I haven't started reading it yet. Exploring England's Hidden Treasures, Luke Sherlock. And the illustrations are by Iona Peoria. Anyway, the art, she did all the artwork, all the same artist, these pin drawings, black pin drawings in the book. That was part of the main motivation. Her artwork, which she had shown on Instagram, is just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, so anyway, I can't wait. If you like architecture or old churches, that kind of thing, like I said, I haven't started reading it yet, but very much looking forward to digging into reading that. So, let's say, the other thing I've been trying to do this spring is say less sitting and more getting up and getting active, because I'd gotten way too sedentary. So I've been trying to do more yard work and say pulling weeds and working on putting in a flower bed, or working on the backyard flower bed, and put in some native plants in the front flower bed. I had bought found a new little bitty shop in Fort Worth. I say we're in Fort Worth every couple of weeks. So after our normal appointment, talked the husband into going. Nativo is the name of the shop. It's a little bitty startup, but she only carries native plants, native Texas plants, which we went over there and I bought 2 Greg's Mist Flower and 2 Goldenrod, and to fill in the flower, some spots in the flower bed. And then I was like, we bought them, and then I got home and I was like, well, that was dumb, because this was before our windows had been installed. And it was like, I don't want to put these in because they're likely to get trampled. So I managed to keep them alive in the backyard in their containers, and then was able to plant them after the windows went in, which I'm glad I waited, because another thing I had planted in April that I've had in a pot for a while, Autumn Joy sedum. They accidentally stepped on it, and I thought it was a goner, but it has bounced back and is growing. So I'm like, oh. But I say that's another reason for not stitching as much, trying to say not sit and stitch so much and be a little more active and less sedentary. So gonna have to figure out the balance, get stuff done. Not enough hours in the day. So hopefully, what are we at? 32 minutes. I say keep this shorter today, but I hope your summer's off, or the unofficial summer kickoff, Memorial Day. I hope you're doing well and getting your stitching in and enjoying things. And I will see you in July. Fingers crossed. Happy stitching.